is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this sun of yoke, and other clouds had lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now our brows bound with victorious wreaths, opposite arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim visage war has smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barred steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chambers, to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I, that am rudely stamped and want love's majesty to strut before a wanting Emblem nymph, I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up, and the so lamely and unfashioned water dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why, I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, but less to spy upon my shadow in the sun and descant on my own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain, and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, induction dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels, and dreams, to send my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence loosely be mewed up out of prophecy, which says that ye of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Dive thoughts down to my soul, here Clarence comes. Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by the sun of yoke and other clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, opposite arms hung up for monuments, our discerned hours changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim visage war has smoothed his wrinkled front, and now instead of mountain barred steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive trick, not made to quite an amorous looking glass. I that am rudely stamped in one love's majesty to strive before the wanting upland nymph. I that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature to form unfinished, sent before my time into depths, breathing world's cause have made of then so lamely and unfashionable the dogs bark at me as I haunt by them. Why I, in this weak piping time as peace, have no delight to pass away the time unless just by my shadow in the sun it is in my own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these farewell spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures these days. Plots have I laid, induction dangerous by drunken prophecies, libels and dreams, that my brother Clarence and the kingdom deadly hate the one against the other, and if can ever be as true and just as I am, subtle, false, and treacherous, this day shall Clarence closely be mewed up about a prophecy which says that ye of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Thy thoughts down to my soul, here Clarence comes. Now is the winter of our discontent, a glorious summer by the son of York. And are the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim visage woe has smoothed its wrinkled front, and now instead of mountain barred steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber, to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I, that am rudely stamped in one love's majesty to strut before a wanting amblin nymph, I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated by a feature, by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable the dogs bark at me as I halt by them, while I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to espy my shadow in the sun, and discover my own deformity, and therefore, since I cannot prove a lover and to entertain these well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, induction dangerous by drunken prophecies, libel and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am, subtle, false, and treacherous this day, should Clarence closely be mewed up about a prophecy which says that ye of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Thy thoughts down to my soul, here Clarence comes. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this son of York. And are the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried? Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to the loveful measures. Grim visage war has smoothed its wrinkled front, and now, instead of mountain barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chambers to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking glass, I, that am rudely stamped and one love's majesty to strut before a wanting ambling nymph, I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated her feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them, why I, in this weak piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun and to scan on my own deformity, and therefore, Since I cannot prove a lover to entertain these well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid. Induction dangerous by drunken prophecies, libels, and drunks. To set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate the one against the other, and if King Edward be as true and just as I am, subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence closely be mewed up about a prophecy which says that G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Thy thoughts down to my soul here, Clarence comes. Thank you for listening. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, notification button, hit the like button, and certainly leave a comment. And check out my playlist and my channel. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.